Hello, welcome, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to FJRT Season 3, Episode 6, with me, your lovable host, Kaz. We have 8 more aircraft to get through for this episode, so hold on to your hats and get comfortable as we head down to the Watchtower and the Round Table to see what we have in store for all of you today. So let's go ahead and get started introducing today's fighters. First, we have the BA-34 Strix sent in by Josue. Very interesting looking Su-34 cockpit using swing-winging aircraft with PL-10s and QAMs. Pretty cool looking aircraft, really. It's got those custom roundels on it, looking very nice. Very cool, nice color scheme. Very appropriate. Next, we have the exact same aircraft, basically, that we saw in the last episode, sent in by Jimmy, the DF-21Z LCSE Taiki. Not a whole lot to say about it. It's got a slightly different loadout, but is otherwise the exact same plane. Yeah. So, over here, we have the DSG PFA-109C Ophiuchus, sent in by our good friend Lethal Dose. Very pretty looking aircraft using that Wyvern cockpit. Quite cool indeed. Not sure why it's slowly moving across the tarmac. Either way, it's got a wide mix of missiles using the EML as its main special weapon, and Iris-Ts. Honestly, a very cool, very sleek looking aircraft. A lot of aircraft using Saturn engines this time around. In fact, 3 of these 4 aircraft are using Saturns. And lastly, we have the FF215NR Aquila sent in by Box of Stardust. Another very cool looking aircraft that looks very, very similar to the Ophiuchus over there. Yeah, except this one came first and that one came second, so a lot of people are, oh, it's an Aquila. Anyway, so you can see it's got a lot of mixed missiles. It has direct fire capabilities down there. That is an Arclight EML, so we have at least 2 EMLs, and it's probably not going to be the last one we see. I don't know, it might be. I don't know, I haven't looked at every single aircraft and memorized crap. Come on, I can't keep all that stuff in mind. So, either way, let's go ahead and check out the next 4 here. So, starting off our next group here, as far as aircraft, we have the KMX-25 BDM Maiden. There is another aircraft bearing the same name, but they're basically identical other than loadout, so I'm not going to show both of them. Are you kidding? No, it takes too much time. But anyway, we can see that this aircraft is running with 2 HEKVs, the ADMM weapon. That'll be an interesting combination, to be sure, and several heat seekers. Altogether, a pretty sleek looking aircraft. It's got the big suck in the front, double suck even. Otherwise, looks pretty sleek. The air intake, so the only things that look a little off-putting about that design. Otherwise, looks pretty cool. Over here, we have the R37DL Lightbird Block 2B, sent in by Raven. Very, again, very F-35 looking aircraft. You might have seen this in the last episode. It's basically the same plane, once again, with some slight loadout changes and AI changes and etc. And this time it actually has the proper roundels, so good for him. Next, we have the Ursus Block 17 aircraft, which is, well, I'm not really sure what else to say about it. It's a Su-30, you know, it's a Su-57. It's very, very dark. 25mm autocannon HPAAs, Mica IRs, and Meteors. This is not a stealth aircraft, despite the fact that it looks like a stealth aircraft. It's not stealthy at all. Thank you, BDA. So, yeah. So yeah, it's sent in by Fellblade. Anyway, I believe this is his first, might be his second submission. Either way, it looks pretty cool. Using the 117S turbo engines, which is cool. Not a lot of people have been using those. Interestingly enough, the Taiki is also using them. And over here, the YX-37 MLD Terminator 01, sent in by Android Elite. It is, yeah, basically exactly what you think it is. All right, so we have 2 HEKVs. We have HEKV2 Eclectic Waterloos. This one is Waterloo and Waterloo. Not sure if that's intentional. We also have I'm Done Talking, which I'm pretty sure is the gun. We have the Quam 3 Return of the King and R74 Mark MKs. You can see them on the wings here and underneath. Quam, super fun times. Cool stuff. The guns are also right over here on the side with some cool Gunsmoke decals, thanks to our friend Snail. Otherwise, that's all 8 of the aircraft that you're going to see in this episode. So, let's go ahead and see who we're going to have for the first bout of qualifiers. So here we are for the first round of the qualifiers. We have the Maidens versus the Taiki. Let's go ahead and get those into the air. And the competition starts for these 2 fighters. Let's go ahead and hit that autocam. Bada bing, bada boom. Looks like it's going to go into a flyby again. There we go, just get a normal camera. So, right now, Maidens are, we're following them. This one has both Quams and ADMMs. This one has ATKVs and ADMMs. Both, pretty nasty combinations there, honestly. We've got, AIM 54s out, Phoenixes, fired at the Taikis. Aircraft are just, heading in there. Quite gotten to that terminal guidance mode yet, so they aren't trying to avoid. Uh-oh! And, the Maidens have crashed? Must have blown itself up with its own missile. Looks like the Taiki maybe did something similar. Either way, this is now a 1v1. Iris T is now in the air. They open. Taiki, pretty good in close combat. Dodging that HEKV. Maiden on the tail of the Taiki. And Maiden into the ground. Well, well. Very interesting indeed. Should I rerun that? Maybe. Am I going to rerun that? No. No, I'm not. You're welcome, Jimmy. Mr. Fiery moves on. So for our second bout, we have the Strix versus the Ophiuchus. Let's go ahead and get those started. Good luck to both of our competitors once more. And we see the swing wings on the Strix actually moving. Pretty cool. Pretty cool, gotta say. So, the Ophiuchus here running with an EML as its primary bit of nastiness. Holy crap, what the hell just happened? Ophiuchus, for whatever reason, has decided to spontaneously explode itself, and I have no reason why. Huh. Okay, well. I guess we'll see how that goes. Wham! In the air. We now have the solo Ophiuchus by itself, because that's what solo means. Ophiuchus turning around, trying to fire on the Strix. Both are quite accurate. Ooh! And we've got those Vulcans. No fires, luckily, for the Ophiuchus. Does not seem to want to fire the EML. Might be the only way it's going to successfully manage this. EML now trying to line up. Almost. I am wondering what the second Strix is doing. It is also basically dead, but it still has missiles, and it is going to fire those on the remaining Ophiuchus. And a clam along with that PL-10. Holy crap, that is a deadly, deadly combination. Quam, however, hits the ground, it looks like. Couldn't have worked out better in that instance. The Strix now hitting the ground. This is officially a 1v1. Oh, just barely getting hit there. I'm going to turn autocam back on specifically because... Oh! And wing loss on the Strix. But we do also have fires on the Ophiuchus. There's no telling how much damage those fires could do. It could burn down the entire cockpit if it has no way to deal with that. Looks like the fires have been put out, though. Not sure if it's lost any engine gimbal. However, the Strix is going to be pretty crippled because of that lost wing. And the Ophiuchus managed to get on. Oh! And an EML strike! But it hits something not particularly essential. We definitely got a hit, though. You can tell by the thumping sound. Couple seconds left, and Strix is out of fuel. Ophiuchus, however, also going to be running out of fuel in just a couple seconds here. Boom, out of fuel. 2 fuelless fighters now. Ooh, and a point-blank EML actually missing. Now the slow-speed gliding dogfight to the ground. Not much of an aircraft left there. Let's go ahead and check the Strix. Still has guns, but it's not going to be able to have any control. Down it goes. Your winning aircraft, ladies and gentlemen. Can it make a landing? It manages to pull up. Of course it does. All right, ladies and gentlemen, your winning aircraft for this bout is the Ophiuchus. Congratulations, Lethal. You're moving on. So your next bout of aircraft is going to be the Lightbird versus the Ursus. So competition starts between the two aircraft. Let's go ahead and hit that autocam and go to fighter mode. Firing at those long range. Well, firing at those long ranges. Not a whole lot to say at the moment. Go ahead and switch those aircraft as they are now moving to evade. Look like they evade fairly well, although they turn back in. That's not good. They're going to need to evade. Oh! That meteor probably put a huge dent in that aircraft. Let's find out. It has lost its verticals and, well, it's lost its verticals and its horizontals. It's lost most of its anything back there. Not great. Not a good way to start this. Lightbirds, oh, and a Micah IR. Looks like it might have lost its countermeasures too. damaged one that can still kind of turn, trying to get its stuff going, but not quite good enough. Turn off that auto cam, as it is its own thing. Oh, it does actually manage to get a hit with an R-73 close range, knocking the engines off of that Ursus. Once again, that is the pulse laser gun. It is about as strong as your normal gun. It is not a special weapon. Desperately trying to stay up that gimbal of that engine. Oh, no! During builds, it did, looks like it got hit in the Jesus nut and blew the rest of the plane apart. That is most unfortunate. Means, well, sorry, Raven. It looks like the bear wins the day today. The Ursus will be continuing on. So last but not least for the qualifiers, we have the Terminators versus the Aquilas. We have, again, Terminators versus Aquila's Android versus Stardust. Who will win? Who will fall? And competition starts automatically. I love when it does that. Hitting auto cam, and in we go. Looks like we're going to be following the Terminators in. Both of these very, very nice looking aircraft. I mean, when Stardust isn't trying to do something fucky-wucky, I mean, you gotta admit the plane looks pretty cool. Also has an IRST out there. You can see it scanning. That red line. Alright, we're also getting Phoenix is now being launched at the Terminators. I managed to detect them. They do have jamming going on, so I'm going to take a wild guess and say they probably detected them via the IRST. Engines they're using are quite warm. Just a guess, though. HEKV's now selected. And AIM-54 is now on their way to the targets. You know, Venlo trying to avoid those Phoenix's HEKV actually being launched, it looked like, at basically maximum range. We haven't actually seen that. Really? It's like it just fired. Oh! And it smashes one of the Terminator, one of the Aquilas get hit by that HEKV from long range. And those missiles were actually designed to be used at longer ranges, designed specifically to, at the first point, hunt down high-altitude boom and zoom style targets. But they really haven't been used that way. They will, however, try to be turning around, come after it. Oh, and a beautiful shot from that arc light, but missing by a mile. 120C looks like just barely missing that Terminator. HEKV's still flying around. Kind of an odd camera angle there. Let's go ahead and switch. Here we go. Getting into dogfight range. Quam 3 out and about. Looks, well, Quam actually out and about. Chasing that Aquila. I don't think it's going to be able to turn hard enough to avoid hitting the ground, though. Actually, never mind. It is! Whoa! Beautiful shots by that arc light. Just barely missing. This is turning into a really good fight. Terminator belching flares to try to avoid the Micas. They do have, I believe, those increased countermeasures. Quam 3 firing once again, trying to turn in on those Aquilas. R-74 getting pretty close to that Aquila. Missile phase might be running down at this point. Yup, definitely beautiful fire by those, I think those are actually 301s. Quam hitting the Aquila as it gets just suppressed by gunfire. Another slam from Terminator, really living up to its name at the moment, just styling on the Aquilas. But with those EML shots, that that arc light firing in these close quarters, it could still be anybody's fight. All it takes is one good shot, and the Aquilas, in theory, have 3. We're getting into the post-stall regime. Both these fighters, both very capable. Both using the same guns, as it were. Aquila managing to light up one of the Terminators. The others are basically in a post-stall murder fight, dancing with each other. Terminator leaking fuel, that's what that white is. Oh, and a little bit of that firing sound for that fixed arc light. I don't think we're going to get to hear too much of it unless we start following the Aquila. Anyway, it could be almost off cooldown, and that looks like a good shot. Let's go ahead and switch to the other Terminator. Oh, and just in time! Arc light shot, shredding that wounded Terminator. Let's go and watch from the Terminator's point of view again, as it is the only one of its kind still flying around. Aquila's still proving they are pretty tanky. Losing the jammer there on the back of the Terminator, but that's okay, it doesn't really need that. If anything, it moves the weight forward, which, well, actually might not be a good thing. Whoa! Very close there. Looks like we might have gotten EML taking out a vertical. I'm not sure. I'm using the term EML and arclight interchangeably, as the arclight is a type of EML. It is a triple shot. This is not a good space for any aircraft to find itself in, but honestly, all things considered, Terminator managing to hang in there pretty well. Definitely a good fight. Like, these are both very good aircraft. Getting a good hit there with those guns. I don't think the Terminator is, yep, there it is. That's pretty rough. Burned down on the center. That means that your Aquilas will be moving on to the main event. And so, here we are for the first fight of the main 4. These fights, as per usual, will be best of 3. So, what have we got for you at the moment? Well, we have the Taikis versus the Ursus. Let's go ahead and start that competition. Once again, these will be best of 3 as we move into the big 4. Good luck, gentlemen. And the competition starts. Between these two fighters, we'll go ahead and click one, hit the auto cam, and bada bing, bada boom. There we go. Looks like we're going to be following the Taiki in, at least for the first few moments, and switch to the Ursus there. It's a very nice shot of them, more or less in formation as they close in on the enemy targets. Very, very cool, honestly. Like, I love it when it does that. Kind of boring to watch, because there's not a whole lot going on, but, I mean, it is pretty. Gotta hand it to them. Looks like they've slapped together some meteors there. Not sure if they're going to be able to lock onto the Taiki at range, though. Looks like they finally have managed to lock them, however, once they got within close enough range. Taiki's basically just cruising like nothing at all. Just moving on ahead. And they're more or less right over the airfield, and just like that, they go ahead and start diving and popping chaff to avoid those meteors. still flying more or less in formation to avoid those meteor missiles as they come in, trying to keep their speed up as they are diving. Probably good that they didn't try and level out and turn into the missiles. That's been a thing that sometimes happens when large numbers of missiles are being fired at the same time. We are now well within dogfight range between these two. And AIM-9M's flying in, now missing. Good stuff. Iris T's everywhere. R-27. Holy mackerel, just missile after missile after missile. So very many missiles. And we've got guns, guns, guns. Oh, some explosions going on. These GAU-22s absolutely shred. So I think that was the GAU-22. Either way, a lot of damage on that Ursus. Yep, that Ursus is down. That Taiki's basically down. No engines. Does have weapons still, so I can't quite get rid of it. This one has no weapon and no way to control itself. I will go ahead and get rid of it. Super fun time. Big red button being pressed to keep things moving along. This Taiki is still technically alive. It's still got weapons. Taiki now, ooh, shredding more or less what's left of that Ursus there. Yeah, it's very dead. Very dead. It'll just fall into the ground. If the Taiki doesn't shoot it full of holes before it even gets there, which looks like that's going to be the game. The other Taiki just chilling there on the ground. Ooh, Taiki, here for the whoa backflip. Very maneuverable aircraft. Yes, put the gear down. That'll help things. And
nope.
I am going to say that in this case, this aircraft was basically dead and was not going to win. The Taiki, however, did hit the ground, but it was still functional when it did so, and both this one hit the ground first. So, call it a little biased. I am, however, going to give this win to the Taiki just to keep things moving. So, yeah, Taiki wins round 1 by technicality. Let's hope things are a little more clear-cut in round 2. And the competition starts once again. Hit that autocam and bada bing, bada boom. Please change to something else. There we go. Beautiful clouds. These craft fly in toward each other. Once again, the Taiki's winning more or less by default there. They were the only aircraft still alive when the other one was crashed and on the ground. They were literally a cockpit. They had no way they could fight, do any damage to the enemy. That is why I'm ruling in favor of the Taikis for the last one. That being said, hopefully things will be a little more, well, a little less scuffed when it comes to these aircraft. Though, if we're seeing anything, the first round of fights between, well, the Taiki and its competitor were pretty scuffed. So maybe the Taiki just survives on scuff. You know, kind of reminds me of the last bonus round. Anyway, we now have meteors away from the Ursus as they, Ursi? Ursus. Anyway, the Ursi, the bears, grisly flight as the meteors fly in, trying to shoot those Taikis. Taiki's keeping their speed up and diving, dropping shaft to decoy that missile and keeping their speed up, which is very important. Keeping all those things together will help you avoid them, as you see quite nicely. Now they're into close range. Those Micas, still dangerous. All the weapons now firing missiles. AIM-9M is coming in. Many missiles, as it were. Nothing too crazy between these two. Oh! AIM-9X! Right in the ass end of the Ursus there. Not great. Still has an engine in a reasonably good place, I would say, as far as control. Ooh, GAU-22 absolutely just erasing that Taiki. I don't think there's very much left of that thing. Ursus coming in, basically Taiki standing on its tail. just taking it. This Taiki is basically dead. Can't engage, can't do anything. It's basically just sitting there and distracting, so no weapons, no hope of doing anything. Goodbye. Go ahead and do that. Now then, this aircraft can still fight. This one also can still fight. As we see that Taiki struggling to actually maintain control on the situation here. GAU-22's just shredding through the aft end of that Taiki. Now, it doesn't have any engines, but it still has weaponry. I'm willing to let it go. Hopefully it'll be able to get some shots, either with the EML, or it could get shot and or burned down. That means that we're going, more or less, to a round 3. And competition starts. Slap that autocam. Go to dogfight mode. We are apparently going to be following the Taiki in, at least at first here. Missiles doing strange missile things and belching out smoke for no apparent reason. Honestly, gotta say, the Ursus does look quite nice. I mean, yeah, it's a Su-57 looking ass plane, but you know, I mean, the Su-57 looks nice. What can I say? It's got sleek lines. It's nice. Might not be the stealthiest thing ever because it probably doesn't have much in the way of RAM, and it's got rivets on it, and you know, made of stellinium or something. But you know, it's all right. It's okay. All right. Now we got meteors coming from the Ursus again. This will be, well, let's see if the Taikis are able to avoid them just like they did the last few rounds, or if it'll get unlucky and get its cheeks clapped by the bear. The meteors now getting close, both of the Taikis moving to evade. Looks like the missiles have split 50-50. If the aircraft are too close to each other, sometimes the missile can go for the second one or whatever, and or be close enough to the second one to do stuff. IRSTs and Micas flying from both fighters, looking to intercept. Flares going everywhere. Oh, and an R-27 hitting that Ursus from the Taikis. Probably, I'm gonna tack that up to the fact that the flares were getting, whoa! Iris-T getting hit. And, honestly, getting a hit, I couldn't tell. It looked like the, Taiki did get a hit on something. We've got some major damage. I heard the EML make a strike. Let's see, this Taiki is basically dead in the water, but still has ammunition and such. I will be continuing to live. Ooh! And that Ursus is having a very, very bad day. I guess it was ejected. Now this Ursus is basically the solo. No engines, only flares. Doesn't matter. Iris-T eats it anyway. Taiki still trying its best to get on target there, despite its very crippled condition. I mean, I'm gonna go out and say that, I mean, in theory, anything can happen, but, I don't think, anything is very likely. I was a betting man. Whoa! Other Taiki crashes and burns. It leaves this technically as a 1v1. I mean, we did see the Taiki, crash into the ground previously. It is entirely possible it could do that again. Will its enemy burn down before it has the chance? Well, alright. And war crimes! But this time it was able to pull out and not hit the ground. That means the Taiki will be moving on to the finals. Congratulations, Jimmy. So here we go, we have the Aquilas now versus the Ophiuchus. The Aquila versus the Aquilanaut. Let's go ahead and start the competition. These fighters are spinning around on their wheels on the runways, so we're just gonna cross our fingers and hope they don't explode, because I've tried doing everything I can think of to get them to, well, not be squirrely, and they refuse. So if they die and can't sit still on the runway, well, that's on them. You know, skill issue. I'm sorry. And competition starts. We'll go ahead and hit that auto cam and, well, click on an aircraft, I guess, because it doesn't want to do it itself. So, we have the Ophiuchus versus the Aquila. Both aircraft are very similar to one another. They are not identical, but they do look very, very close. I mean, after all, they've both got canards and kind of a sort of semi-F-18, sort of F-15-y kind of look going for them, you know. Phoenix is being launched from the Aquilas as they continue to move in. Both of these aircraft also have, well, guns, and they have EMLs. The Aquila in the form of the Arclight EML, and, well, the Ophiuchus in the form of the traditional EML. So, we could be seeing some potentially interesting combinations of pew-pew about ready to happen. A-54s keeping their stuff up. There we go. Looks like the Phoenixes are missing as that Ophiuchus is diving, dropping chaff, trying to move, keep its speed up, which it's doing very well. This other one, not quite as much, but it does have a weapon aimed at its enemy. Selected the EML there. It might try to get a sneaky shot, but not if it's moving away to avoid the 120s and the R-27s. Just a barrage of missiles coming from the enemy fighters right now. Ooh, and there we go! EMLs in the form of the Arclight being shot. Looks like it actually slapped a wing off of one of the Ophiuchus aircraft there. One of Lethal's craft. Oh, that Arclight is terrifying. Oh! IRST circling around, trying to get shots on. Ophiuchus there. This one seems to be the non-wounded version. This one still has its wing missing. Whoa, whoa, 3 shots, so close. Oh, that is terrifying. Oh, absolutely terrifying. Oh, have a Maverick moment there as it spins to try and get the Aquila to overshoot. Doesn't work that well. Aquila getting real close, trying to switch to guns. Oh, EML so close. Whoa! Just can't quite get it on there. It's gonna fire till it overheats. Oh! EML Arclight almost reloaded. What's the other one doing? Well, still moving. They are dancing in very slow motion. That post-stall dance of death. Both aircraft trying to maneuver. Oh! Jeez, every time I hear that thumping kaboom, I'm pretty sure it's hit something, and it has! Ophiuchus, not long for this world. Spinning out of control there. Looks like it still has weapons. This one trying its best. Is it gonna crash? And it does. Not great. A great place to find yourself. Aquila... Don't... Whoa. Ophiuchus apparently bouncing. Oh! Whoa! Ho-ho! Spinning and firing, trying to get around that. Oh my god, so close! Looks like both of the Ophiuchus might have lost wings, and now they're just kind of spiraling. That one's spiraling into the ground. Kaboom! And Aquila now turning around. Ophiuchus circling the drain. Basically, we'll go ahead and watch from its perspective. Oh, as that Arclight comes in and cleans house. Round 1 for these planes goes to the Aquila. Woo! Spicy, spicy. And competition starts. Let's go ahead and hit that autocam. Oh, and a really cool flyby of the Ophiuchus there. Look at that. Very cool airplane. Both these aircraft do actually look quite cool. Not gonna lie. Look quite nice. They are similar, but still different. And there we go, dropping those Phoenixes. At long range, as you do. Meteors, no, AIM-120C's now being launched. Those are the faster, slightly less powerful ones. That's what those are. EML now selected. Probably won't get any shots before it has to try going into an evasion routine, which it is now, diving once again to avoid those Phoenixes. R-71's just basically failing to track, going off to nowhere land. Heard some explodey sounds coming from the other one. Not sure. Oh, no, it's actually doing okay. Nope, never mind. It's actually lost something. Not great. Not sure if it actually took damage from anything. Doesn't say. Looks like something must have bumped into it. One of its own missiles, perhaps. Not sure what. We are following an Aquila. It looks like it's trying to line up a shot. Very fast-firing Micas now, almost spamming them. 3 Micas being launched. And moving into a merge for those 2. There we go. Ooh, that is not a place in which you want to find yourself. Very close range. Woo! Spicy, spicy. Jeez, EML jousting is terrifying. GS-H firing does have the EML selected for a split second. Now the reload. Oh! That has it almost dead to rights. Speaking of dead to rights, that other Ophiuchus not looking so hot as the those Talon engines on the back of that Aquila do its best to light everything up. Looks like it does a really good job of doing exactly that, as it were. This aircraft basically spinning out, unable to get control. Stuck in a flat spin. The other one also basically flat spinning. Not sure if that's due to major loss of control surfaces or something else. Either one, that one looks like it's burned down. Not good. Basically dead. It's got its engines on. Not sure what the situation is. Still got air intakes on it. Who knows? Maybe the engines just took too much damage. Oh! Kind of flat spinning out of the direct fire of that arc light. Not going to be enough, though. Gun absolutely shredding the Ophiuchus. Aquila is showing it is still a very, very capable aircraft, despite being well over a year old. And down she goes. What it is with all of these frickin' planes smashing into the ground all of a sudden, but yeah, kind of weird. Anyway, yeah, I think that was pretty clear cut though in the air. I'm going to say that Stardust and his Aquilas are moving on to the finale. Sorry, Lethal. So here we are for the first fight of the finals. I have the game paused, hopefully, so that the Aquilas don't rotate themselves too far out of position. We have the Aquila sent in by Box of Stardust, or just Stardust, and the DF-21Z Taiki sent in by Jimmy. Which one of these two planes will rise as the victor of episode 6? Well, enough dilly-dallying by me. Let's go ahead and get them into the air and find out. Good luck, boys!
A few moments later.
Oh, look at that. The Aquila crashed because its wheels were doing stupid crap. Imagine that. And we restart. So yeah, both planes are now back in the air, flying in slightly different directions, but at least they're in the air. Oh boy. As if shit couldn't be scuffed enough this episode. Even the finale is plagued with shenanigans. And we're back for round 2 between these fighters. Will the Aquilas take it? Or will the Taikis come with a from-behind surprise victory? One way to find out. Also, really, Stardust, you gotta do something about that gear, man. I don't know why it's spinning around in circles, but boy is it, and let me tell you, it has been a hell of a hassle. And competition starts, once again, with what could be the final time. And watch as the Taikis turn around, burning all their speed to spin around like that. No, it doesn't necessarily matter. They will catch up before they get into firing position, keeping that speed up as they move in here. Aquilas are probably going to use those IRSTs, detect them, and then launch those Phoenixes at them. I'm pretty sure they have the IRSTs. Yep, they do. And there they go. Phoenixes out and away. Raider up and tracking. Up and looking, anyway. I would say it has a lock, but it can detect something out there. Does detect the missile on the radar warning receiver, proceeds to launch missiles and dive. Team 54 is speeding by. Not sure where the second Taiki is, we can't really see from this position. R-77's out and tracking fairly well. Both Aquilas keeping their speed up and diving toward the ground and above Mach 1. Definitely, boy, that would be terrifying in real life, let me tell you. Definitely a real pants messer there. Flares and chaffing dropping great quantities. Aquila firing that arc light. Stuff just exploding next to that Taiki, but nothing managing to bite. So many Micas flying in toward this Taiki. Taiki doing an extreme post-stall maneuver there, burning a lot of its speed, not actually seeming to get much in the way of its nose on target. Definitely pulling some of that 5th generation Maverick nonsense, which is awesome. Not gonna lie. Whoop, overshoots. Loki's aircraft now very slow. This is a dangerous place to be, that's for sure. Oh! Email launching, firing. They are continuing to lose. Oh, Aquila! That was a... Holy shit, that was a double kill! Talk about a come-from-behind victory there. Wow, Taiki showing it is not ready to go down without a fight. Ladies and gentlemen, we are heading into round 3. Finale of episode 6. You know, as a complete aside, I just watched them spawn in, and now they're being completely steady. All I had to do was turn on SAS, and all of a sudden they stopped doing weird, squirrely stuff. Okay, SB. Never change. And competition starts. Last time. Autocam active. Fighter mode engaged. Good luck, boys. You're definitely gonna need it. Honestly, it could go either way. However, I am at this point leaning more in favor of the Aquilas just because, well, the Taikis have shown a penchant for ramming into the ground. Even when they've been in a fairly decent position. It's not good. Ground bad. Not much to say, 120Bs out. AIM 54s passing by that Taiki with little problem as they come in. Really cool flyby of the jets in the air. Aquila's now coming down and firing those R-27s, and looks like they're selecting Micah's. Radar and heat block, just countermeasures going every which way. Switch to the other Taiki. Not a whole lot going on at the moment. It is, however, getting lit up by multiple aircraft at the same time. Those Micahs are terrifying, definitely giving the aircraft enough to worry about while its parent craft lines up that arc light for a deadly triple shot. Whoa! Ooh, I don't think anybody wants to win with a ram. Triple shot firing. Taiki in a very bad position. Missile actually tracking quite well. Oh, and a Taiki hitting center mass on the Aquila. At least it looked like it was hitting center mass. Micah IR just refusing to get off the tail of that Taiki. Doesn't look good for the Taiki there. I mean, I don't want to say the fat lady is sung, but I think she's warming up. Taiki has a good shot. Iris T smashing the wounded Taiki, actually managing to get a really good shot on one of the Aquilas. Is that Aquila actually alive or dead? It does appear to have lost its engines. This Taiki, it's basically dead. It has no missiles and no guns. I don't want to click the wrong one. Triple shot going. Oh! That is not good. Well, I think the fat lady's done warming up at this point, ladies and gentlemen. Not only do I think she's finished warming up, I think she's in the middle of her cadenza. Unfortunately, that cadenza will not be in celebrating Jimmy's victory today. He put up a really good, very good fight. But without any engines, not any weapons, I think both of these aircraft are basically dead. There is no way they can continue to fight. No anything, and though we have a very, very nice flyby of the Taiki. Apparently flying in reverse. Very nice. Interesting. I think I am going to call it here. No matter which aircraft does manage to hit the ground first at this point, even with the other Aquila being basically dead. Yep, both of those will hit the ground at more or less the same time. This one actually managing to hold on for just a little while longer. The only aircraft that's still effectively alive is that Aquila. And rather than sitting here and, well, letting it all take place any longer than it has to, I think it's pretty clear that your victor for Episode 6 of FJRT Season 3 is none other than the Aquila sent in by Box of Stardust. Just a fantastic dogfighter all around, and honestly making pretty good use out of that arc light. Gotta say, nice looking, fairly traditional looking plane. Very cool. It's not even, I don't even think it's that stealthy. Credit where credit is due, though. Taiki definitely put up a hell of a fight. It really could have gone either way. But you can only have one victor in FJRT, and in this case, it is indeed the Aquila. But until next time, I have been Kaz, and this has been FJRT Season 3. I hope you will all continue to watch in the next episode, but until then, I've been Kaz. Happy building. Happy blasting.